Students in Colorado's largest school district will be staying home tomorrow. Denver's giving everyone a mental health day as families process the shooting at East High and school leaders promise safety changes.
Tonight we're learning more about the teenage suspect's criminal history, a history the district's leader claims they knew nothing about. Sources tell 9 News back in 2021, police found the suspect had a ghost gun, an extended magazine, and a silencer. He faced a felony charge but ended up on probation. The 17-year-old was still on probation when police say he shot the 2 administrators who were patting him down. Police say he later took his own life.
Law enforcement source tells NBC News the investigators started looking at this teenager after his classmates at Overland High School raised concerns about some social media posts. Cherry Creek schools eventually expelled him. At a news conference today, DPS Superintendent Alex Marrero said the district was not aware of the student's history, but that East High School was.
The district was not aware. Remember, we have over 200 schools, but East was.
Marrero said that he would be meeting with the suspect's family tonight. He and the DPS board president agreed that they failed that young man.
And I think about the death of the student that we failed, the death of the student from yesterday, how we could have, as a society, as a city, could have done more.
Today, the Denver School Board unanimously agreed to let police officers back into schools at least through the end of the school year.
The Denver Teachers Union also supports the decision to temporarily bring officers back, but told 9 News reporter Jennifer Meckles long-term, not even teachers are all in agreement.
Everybody's exhausted. They're tired. They're frustrated. They are, and they want action.
Robert Gould and Amy Baca-Olert lead the Denver and the statewide teachers unions in Colorado, and they say that teachers are scared.
I talked to a teacher this morning who shared with me, she said 11 years ago when I went into education, I never expected that every day I would have to wake up and worry or wonder if this would be the day that I don't return from my job.
They're strong, and they put up this facade a lot of times that we're strong, we're going to get through this lesson, we're going to be okay. And on the inside, they're going through their own mental health needs.
DCTA backs the district's decision to bring back armed security guards, at least in the short term.
But we do think the immediacy of the SROs, one thing it will do, it'll make people feel safer. Yeah. And that's what people need right now in order to get back into the classroom and also to start learning again.
SROs remain a controversial topic, and the district wants community input before a long-term commitment. Gould says even among teachers, there isn't consensus here.
They go across the spectrum on that. And so I think that's the piece where we really need to have that conversation.
Both unions also support several Democrat-backed bills for stricter gun measures, moving through the state legislature now.
I keep going back to the fact that how did a 17-year-old get a gun?
There's that saying enough is enough, but I think people have felt, was Uvalde enough? Was Parkland enough? Was when is enough enough? And I think we are calling and demanding for action.
So again, DPS has called off school tomorrow for everyone to have a mental health day. The unions say a lot of people already plan to call out, and now they're hosting a rally at the Capitol. Just something actionable for teachers who feel like they want to do something, anything that they feel might make a difference.
It's so interesting, Jenny, in the way that 3 years ago in 2020, we felt like suddenly kind of society was in a different place, and all of a sudden there's a different decision made about school resource officers. And again, feels like the community is in a different place, and now here we've got another switch.
We're also having this conversation after a shooting at a school, Kyle, this time, as opposed to what the conversation, the context was that summer, which was social justice reform.
Yep, yep, after primarily the focus on an incident out of state, George Floyd, in Minnesota. All right, Jenny, thank you.
Tonight, one of the deans shot, Eric Sinclair, is still in the hospital in serious condition. Gerald Mason is recovering at home. The superintendent says the 2 deans were not the usual people to search the student. The administrator who typically did the searches wasn't available, so Gerald Mason and Eric Sinclair took over. We're learning more about both of them tonight. Sinclair grew up in Iowa, high school wrestling champ. His childhood friend told us he's not surprised his friend grew up to be a popular teacher.
When you meet them, you're going to come away feeling like you had a great interaction with someone that truly cares.
Gerald Mason got out of the hospital yesterday. East High wrestling coach Randy Gallegos told us he saw Mason at the hospital before he was released. Gallegos says the bullet went right through his body. No organ damage, so he's healing.
New surveillance video shows the suspect went to the high country shortly after the shooting. He was there just about an hour afterward. The Park County Sheriff says investigators got information that the suspect liked to camp in the mountains, and that helped them narrow down their search area. He explained to 9 News reporter Cole Sullivan what happened next.
Tonight, the mountain town of Bailey is quiet again. Last night, more than 100 law enforcement officers descended on a rural gravel road where the 10-hour search for suspect Austin Lyle came to an end.
When I heard that it was up in the vehicle had been seen, or rather determined to be in the Conifer area, I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure he's going to be coming to Park County.
Sheriff Tom McGraw hoped it wouldn't end here. He hoped it wouldn't end like this.
I mean, that was a very, very sad day.
But soon after the shooting at East High Wednesday morning, signs started pointing to his county, Park County, suggesting the suspect might come here.
We had intelligence that he enjoyed camping and shooting in the woods. We did not have anything particular here on 68, County Road 68.
New surveillance video shows the suspect's red Volvo pulling onto County Road 68 just over an hour after police say he shot 2 administrators at his high school. His cell phone pinged about 20 minutes earlier near the next town down the road.
It was over here on the left side, just pulled right in.
Sheriff McGraw says deputies in an armored SWAT vehicle approached the Volvo and realized there was no one inside. Then 2 5-man tactical teams with canines started searching the woods alongside it.
The SWAT team is not out on a hike. They have their guns out, they're watching, they're being cautious.
He says the steep terrain at about 8,500 feet was icy and rocky.
And as they walk up the trail, as they get in the areas where there's more snow, they saw fresh tracks, and the dog was on a scent.
An hour later, and 300 yards up the hill, they found the suspect's body. He took his own life. A resolution to the case, but not how the sheriff hoped it would end.
We would much rather have had him walk out of the woods and be put in handcuffs and taken down to the jail. That would have been the best outcome. Unfortunately, that's not the way it turned out.
The Park County coroner says a full autopsy report will take months. The sheriff says deputies found a gun next to the suspect's body, and Denver police towed his red Volvo back to the city. Reporting from Bailey, Colorado, I'm Cole Sullivan, 9 News.
The head of the Colorado School Safety Resource Center told us that most districts across the state use behavioral safety plans like the one prepared for the suspect. All 4 of Colorado's largest districts, Denver, Jeffco, Cherry Creek, and Dougco, confirmed to us that they have students on those safety plans.
The implementation of a safety plan as part of the threat appraisal allows for students to reintegrate back into the normal school setting with still some security features in place to ensure that they're not bringing any type of weapon or other device into the school.
In Denver, it takes a pretty serious incident to set off a threat assessment and a safety plan. It happens when students are linked to weapons, or if there's an assault, a sexual assault, hazing, or retaliation.
For the second time this month, students from East High School went to the Capitol. They talked face-to-face with lawmakers about gun violence and asked them to pass gun control bills proposed by Democrats.
Which ones do you think won't have an impact?
I actually don't think many of them will.
Why not?
Because there'll still be access to firearms, right?
The students are working with gun control advocates like the group Students Demand Action. The bills they support would raise the minimum age to buy a gun, require a 3-day waiting period for firearm purchases, expand the state's red flag law, and remove some liability clauses protecting gun manufacturers from lawsuits.
It's upsetting just the times when we're not actively moving. It hits us why we're here and why we're doing this.
Some Republican lawmakers have questioned whether the bills in question would have prevented the violence at East High. The East students call the bills just a starting point. Prosecutors have formally charged the dentist accused of poisoning his wife with first-degree murder. He appeared in court today for a brief hearing. James Craig sat next to his public defender. The district attorney's office filed this charge after reviewing more than 50 pages of evidence from police. The arrest warrant says that Craig bought potassium cyanide the day Angela Craig went to the hospital a second time.
The evidence seems to suggest that he was more concerned with covering details that would not make him look good rather than caring about what was happening with her health.
Craig's next court appearance will be in 2 weeks.
The Broncos are asking fans about building a new stadium. Look at what the team's survey reveals about those plans and what Denver's mayoral candidates think about who should pay for a stadium.
We have a little light rainfall here in the 9 backyard tonight. Some areas seeing snow. How long does this round of wet weather last? I have the answers on the other side of this break.
For the second time this year, parts of Colorado are being treated to an incredible show in the sky.